raising money. I'm good at going to the city now and getting money. I just have to go on a Zoom call and I can raise money. I've been around long enough and done enough to do it. And also, he's connected to a lot of guys who are Jewish in the property market, got bucket loads of money in the bank, bored, and they want to put funds together to get involved in interesting businesses. So
I think that's a good timing. That's true.
They've got fantastic experience in closing deals, and doing stuff like that. It is a different animal when you have to have when you want to close deals or raise money.
I think
a really tough guy. And whilst I can do the talk and I can get there, whether I can close it, put 100 million in the bank, probably not, but he can. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
So that's
he's interested, right? Basically, what you kind of talk to him, and he's kind of interested to engage. And all right.
And also for him, he will want to cut out of it. Probably I'll come along. Not necessarily for you, but when we're doing, whatever we're doing, we'll both take a little bit of cut for raising the money for obvious reasons.
No, it's fine because anyways,
we get involved in the business a little bit, and maybe have a little bit of a pot in an options pot on exit. So it's that sort of thinking, but it's not raping the business.
Yeah.
It's about fun. Yeah.
No, I think that obviously that's great, because at the end of the day, obviously everyone will be getting have a percentage share on the fund, right? That's not a problem. At the same time, he seems to be valuable. You know him. Why not? Because obviously when we speak to him next time, I think why not? Let's have a chat.
He's a great guy to talk to. You'll really like him, but he is an incredibly good business guy. Incredibly good. His name's Larry Lippman, and his company's called. So he's got several companies, but he's got Safeland and Sage Stay. They're both very successful businesses,
right.
But his success is in what he sold in the past. Yeah?
Right, that's great.
And what he's really good, because he grew up as basically a car salesman. That's what he did. They used to churn cars.
Oh, like the above.
He went into property and he does the same thing again. He buys and sells properties all the time. He never holds them.
He flips like in millions, maybe, right? Flips in millions.
And that's why he will be useful, because what will happen, Raj, is you'll become incredibly successful. You'll love the brand. You'll love what you're doing. And someone will come along and say, Raj, I'll pay you 100 million for this. And you'll go, no. So I can make more money. It's worth $1 billion. I'll keep working. And what he would do is he would sell it at 100 million and start another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then keep on cashing in on the money. And then he sits there with piles of money in the bank, and then can do what he wants.
Yeah, I think that's always,
that's a good. You're on 100 million sale. It's all going well, which happened to me when we were at Fish. And we got an offer for the business, and we said no, and then the whole thing collapsed thereafter. We lived along with no money for years, and then we came back up and eventually sold it for 30 million quid. But the bottom line is we should have sold. But the offer was 44 million. 10 years later, it was 30 million, and we worked on that sale.
I see. That's really. I like that. I think one interesting thing. You asked a question about the platform, right? Say an example, the platform, whatever data IQ, which I'm talking tomorrow, it's not complex to build. Okay, they're using some open source. Say an example, if you raise, so already we have solutions, right? If you take the path of creating a platform, if you raise maybe good amount of money, maybe an example, 500,000 to 1 million, just an example, then I think we can able to create our own platform. Then we don't need to depend on some. I'm just giving a hypothetical example to you, right?
Yeah.
Because we cannot able to do it with the capacity what we have. It's not complex to create these platforms. At the end of the day, if you have like a bunch of really talented people, and there's everything is open source, right? They're just giving their name, nice user interface, and I'm sure we'll make something in the next 1 year. Will be like Data IQ, right? Our own platform, our own solutions, and it's not the end of the world, right? I think this is where, like you said, what we need to, our vision should reflect that. Okay, we have solutions right now. Are we moving towards a platform for businesses? Also, we have a B2C as well. I think we need to think about strategically, right? If there is any good production of the money coming in, we can look at what is it we can do now. And, anyways, we want to rise.
What I think the business structure is, because again, we've talked about it, is what we're doing now with HSBC and Epic is we're basically getting a cash flow on licensing agreement and consultancy, really, or innovation. So that will go through, and that business will grow. And we're going to have more orists and more technicians and more, salespeople and whatever. So that runs itself. But then what we've got to do is, through the academic side and the innovation side, is find projects where we get significant funding to develop certain products. Now, some of that funding will come through the government or education authorities or whatever. But if for instance, we want to do a B2C platform, then we should go out and raise 10 million quid to do it as a separate project, even though it's under the umbrella of the company.
Yeah, definitely. If needed to be, we can raise a
And I
different
think
name.
that is, when we started talking months ago now, those are the things we've cleared in our own minds. Do you know what I mean? I think it's now just a question of getting that pot together and see what we can do. But at the moment, it's simple stuff. It's just get a good bedrock of clients in, get quite a good few licensing agreements that are annualized, and then let's keep on going. Let's get into the sectors. Let's learn what we can do, and so on and so forth. But if we can get HSBC, it's just such a good brand to have. But then we've got to work like fuck to keep that client. And then you're going to have Epic on your back, HSBC, we're pitching for automobile, our management of the clients becomes more challenging.
No, I think it's all like, as I said, what I think once we have enough, credibility, I think, that scalability, I think, we can do that.
Actually, funny enough, is where I think Ali would be very useful. I think Ali would be very good at running a client. He could well be a good, day-to-day project manager for HSBC on a good salary.
Yeah.
I think he's a good manager, and he's enthusiastic. He's a nice guy, and I think he'll do a good job with the relationship.
I did also invited him to today morning as well, right? Because obviously you need to be, the call as well, because it was, I think.
He's in there. And it doesn't matter if they listen. In some ways, I've learned more by listening to you guys. When you're doing your pitches and stuff and doing the technology, it's incredibly valuable because you're just learning all the time. There's such a lot to catch up on.
Right.
But this Horace, for me, has grown tremendously.
He's talking a lot, isn't it?
He's confident now. He's got ideas. He's a good guy. I think we've done well. Yeah.
I think Horace is really good. I think, I think he's definitely, as you can see, I think, I've been seeing him for almost 8 months now. I think you also can see the transition, right? It's really good. And I think it's really good. I think that's why he's a place in the business, right? Obviously, looking at the head. And,
I think he's absolutely. I think he's a really nice guy. I mean, I like him. I think he's I haven't met him, but I like him.
You haven't met him in person, right? You've seen him how he looks.
I'm going to get some stuff done tonight, so I'm going to not necessarily further.
No, it's fine. So.
When you do contracts with people, because I had one with Skillify that came through, and they wanted me to do 4 days a week or something, but there's just absolutely no fucking way you're going to get me working on Skillify 4 days a week, and I don't need to, because I'm like you, but I'm very good at running lots of things, by popping in, popping out, giving ideas, moving away. I can run an absolute ton of stuff, but not necessarily doing everything. Anyway, what I think it is when we do agreements with future people, what we should do is say, okay, we want 25 hours from you a week, but we don't care when you do those 25 hours. You can do them all through the night, or you can do them all in the morning, or you can do them all in the day. The only thing we ask is certain key meetings you're available. And if we're going into a client meeting, we need the pre-meetings and the final meetings. So in other words, you can't work all night and sleep all day. But other than that, you can do it. And then you can do a day job somewhere else. Yeah?
Oh, that's brilliant.
I think it's about thinking like that in the way we employ people. Horace, he can work in Italy. It makes no difference. It absolutely makes no difference. You can work in India for a while. I've got a builder that's in Kashmir, and we work every day. We have a laugh. He goes, do you know what? I'm thinking I might come and move out here. I like it. I can still work from here. I said, who's going to build the buildings?
That's interesting. I think, to be honest, I think that's a very good idea. I think, for me, that's the business model. I think Amy is working somewhere else, but she's brilliant. She actually can come to the call, whenever it's needed. It's really good because we need to have a.
They did a live show tonight here. From the States. I was listening to it. I didn't hear it all. Did it go well? Was it good?
That was good. I think Bob was really cool as well. I think, because, I thought, why don't you guys speak? I think I just put in touch with Angela. I said, what? At the end of the day, I don't need to be around, right? But somehow I think, obviously, they still use the company name. I think I thought they would be talking about themselves, right?
Of course they're going to do that. But by the way, I think what we should do, maybe not now, next series or whatever, we should do a meeting where we explain to people, within reason, of course, how it all works, how the data works. Like the clustering today, if you had Horace and yourself talking about how that works and how you do the data stuff, and make people, because part of our brand is to educate people about AI. We have a role in making people understand AI. There's a lot of noise around AI, and a lot of people don't understand it. Yeah?
No, no, I agree. And I think
we've got to do a little bit more of showing how it works, that it's nothing to be frightened of. You know, a lot of it is trial and error, you know, before you get the right directions and so on and so forth. You know, and the other one, of course, at the moment is, you know, this fuck up with all the A-levels and GCSEs.
yeah,
That's primarily because they didn't structure the information of the algorithm in the right way. Yeah, because they had the wrong people in the room.
yeah,
And that's one of the problems with what we're doing with the clustering. If we go to the bank, you get rational minds that will rationalise and go, oh, you know, it's someone who's defaulted more than 3, you know, all boring stuff. What you need is imagination in the room to start to say, well, why are these people missing their payment? It's because they're having a really good time. They aren't organised, and they haven't organised their direct debit to be 2 days before it's due to get the money in the bank. So then it bounces. They've done nothing actually wrong. They just manage themselves badly. So the bank can manage that by sending them AI data of when the payments are due, which is what's happening in my bank now. Not because of that, but they've got the technology now to tell me when my next payment's coming. So it goes, you will have a direct debit coming out of your account in 4 days' time for £200. Do you have enough money in the bank? Yeah. And so the bank then has another product, which is to get people prepared for their payments. Yeah, so it's fantastic what can happen. Yeah,
that's brilliant, right? Because I think the whole generation is now changing. I think, right? I think it's just like it's not about looking at logging.
They take it to car parking tickets and how you manage that, and tell people how, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's going to come this way, and AI will be the center of it. Yeah?
You know, the one thing about the name of the company, though, right? HiX, that's easy to say as well, right? It's not like, you know, people are confused with High Infinity, A Infinity, right?
HiX is great.
HiX is good, and also it's a very catchy name also, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
So unfortunately, that company's house doesn't have the name like Hi. So what